Hey, so how you guys doing? This is Erix here, and I kind of wanted to share this with you because I've decided to do something that is it's a new thing for me, and it might be a new thing for other people, and just thought it might be fun to share it with you. So I've decided to finally read Dune. Okay, I've got it right here. Here it is, Dune. Okay, and I've decided to finally read it, like straight through. This is not the first time I've attempted to read Dune. I've attempted many times. I've attempted, let's say, three times in the past to read this book, and I've always given up at varying stages. I think the farthest I've ever gotten is like page 100. Okay, so that's as far as I've ever gotten in this book. You know, you got the new movie coming out. Today I saw the second trailer, and I was like, nah, this movie looks pretty good. It's probably going to bomb. It's going to be part one of the movie. They haven't actually shot part two yet, and they're putting it out there in theaters simultaneously. They're also putting it in the streaming service on HBO Max, and I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't sound like a very smart idea for a niche property like this, which they're hoping will be a big franchise thing. And, well, I mean, I guess it remains to be seen. But in any case, it looks like a good movie, and I definitely want to go see it. And since the project was announced, and I love the director, Denis Villeneuve. He's a great director. I've liked all of his films. And so I've been very excited about the idea of him doing this. And so I said, all right, well, maybe this is finally the time for me to read Dune. And I never really, I was kind of warming up to it, to finally read it. And so here it is. I've always been a big fan of the David Lynch film. I know a lot of people don't like that movie for different reasons. You have fans of the book who presumably think maybe it's not what they wanted from it, whatever. I couldn't speak to that. And you have people who maybe don't know anything about the book, but who watch the movie and they think it's an incoherent mess, and they don't like the movie, it's too weird, etc. Whatever. But I've always liked the movie. I think it's a very interesting movie, and I've always been a big fan of it. So anyway, here I am trying to finally read Dune. And this is it. This is the book I have. This is the edition that I have. It's the Barnes and Noble Collector's Edition hardcover. It's very nice. It's the golden the pages. It's a nice edition. It's a good book, and I'm flipping through it just to sort of, it's really nice looking. If anyone can get a hand on it, it's got this really nice like artwork there and little kind of bookmark things. It's nice and fancy. And so I flip through it, and I see, okay, like how big is this book? It's a big book. All right, let's see. It's and so I look through it, and I see Appendix 2, Appendix 3, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I look at, Appendix 1 starts there. Appendices, all right, here it is. So it actually has 516 pages of story. Okay, like as far as I'm concerned, I'm assuming that, yes, that this is 516 pages. Here's where the story ends, and then here we've got a bunch of appendices, whatever. So 516 pages. Okay, fine. Now the movie's coming out in October, towards the end of October, I think. And I'm actually going to go to the movies to see it. I know that it's going to be available, quote unquote, for free on HBO Max, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the movies to watch it. Okay? I'm going to do that because I think, based on the trailer, based on everything about it, it seems like it's a big screen experience. I want to enjoy it that way. So I'm going to go to the movies to see it. I'll probably be one of the few. That'll probably be one of the reasons why this movie might make, in its opening weekend, $5 million. And then it'll have a miserable box office gross, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go to the movies to see it because I want to see it on the big screen. Okay, now, that's coming out towards the end of October. So here we are. This is late July. I figure I've got about 70 days before it comes out. Not even, more than that, but if I look at, October as my deadline. So I've given myself a personal deadline. I've decided, I've given myself a 60-day deadline. Well, it's an arbitrary deadline. I gave it to myself. And I said, okay, how long would it take me to read this book in 60 days? So I, crunched some numbers, and I came up with a figure. If I do 7 pages a day, starting tomorrow, 7 pages a day, I will be done with this book in 60 days. A minimum of 7 pages a day. Okay, the way I read, I normally like to stop at the end of a chapter. Probably most people probably do that when they read books. So I like to stop at the end of a chapter. The way this is going to work is my 7-page number, 7-page minimum. Okay, I'll always try to end at the end of stop at the end of a chapter. I'll always try to do that. So maybe I'll go over 7 pages occasionally, but roughly 7 pages. Like if I happen to, I'm flipping through it, right? I flip through the book and I see that each of these individual little chapters, they vary in length, but they're not that long. So that's why I figure my 7-page limit is probably pretty good. If I come across a chapter that turns out to be like 50 pages long, okay, no, I'm not going to read that whole chapter. But in a case like that, I'll stop at the 7-page mark. If I set my mind to it, 7 pages a day, I will finally finish reading this book. Nothing personal against the book. Nothing personal against the book. Okay? It seems like a lot of people love this book. Okay, it's just not my thing. Okay, these things have never really been my thing. This kind of like fantasy kind of thing, not really my thing. I have a hard time. A lot of it sounds a bit like gibberish and like whatever else. Anyway, so 7 pages a day. And so what I'm going to be doing is I will read 7 pages a day, and this is going to be kind of like an open diary, right? So every day after I've read my 7 pages, I'm going to sit down and kind of record my thoughts of what I've read so far, and sort of that way I'll be recording my experience of reading Dune. And hopefully this will be interesting to some of you, to some people out there. Some people might say to themselves, that's pretty cool. Either they've read Dune and they love Dune and they want to make fun of me and laugh at what an idiot I am and, what kind of a moron can't get through a simple science fiction book. I read it when I was 11, what? Fine, okay, good. You can make fun of me, but that's fine. It's fine, Be civil, don't use too many 4-letter words, but that's fine. For you, that might be funny, like to follow along as this troglodyte tries to read Dune. And other people who maybe have not read Dune might consider, and maybe they're thinking about it, they're like, oh, that movie looks interesting. I want to read the book, and they may, like me, come to it and be like, this looks impenetrable. And then maybe if they use my system of like reading a certain number of pages a day, giving themselves a goal, they might find that to be a reasonable way to approach it. And so you can follow along with me and whatever. Maybe my thoughts will be interesting to you. Maybe they won't be. These are little tidbits I'm going to put here on my YouTube channel for people who may find that amusing. And that's really all I can say. So that's it. I'm going to be reading Dune and recording it for posterity. And it's an open diary, and we can share in this experience, and you can feel free to mock me or, words of encouragement as well. Be like, oh, hey, it's good that you're doing this. I hope you're enjoying the book, and so on. And, however you want to approach this, these videos will be there for your enjoyment. I mean, who knows? I might get through it a lot quicker than in 60 days, okay? Because like I said, 7 pages is my minimum. I may sometimes go over it. So who knows? Maybe I'll finish this thing in a month. Maybe not. This time I'm going to finish it. Like come hell or high water, I am going to finish this book. So maybe you'll enjoy this, maybe you won't, but expect one of these basically daily, and hopefully this will be an enjoyable experience for me and for you if you care to follow along. So, see you tomorrow.